Okay, good afternoon sa tanan. So it's already 2 o'clock.
Here's what I found on the web.
Good afternoon, Doc.
Yes, good afternoon, Sir Kuloy. So we're not expecting na daghan ta no kay naiuban nag-practice man. So anyway, we're still going to continue kay we don't have any more time kung mangita pataglaing ng baka baka hindi na ta ka-meeting. So anyway, this is a joint safety meeting, no? So it will be mix na siya na atong mga participants. Anyway, ang mga agenda natin is more or less relevant po sa tanan, no? So related to safety. There's only one na sa other matters na ako i-include, which is that's why one of the things I invited was the DRCs, if ever they are can attend, no? Kay na may usa ka procedure na I just included na lang as part of the cascading. So if this would be the meeting for the OSH committee, this will be the sixth meeting na for the year, and also for the safety coordinators, and also as a deputy safety officers. Tagsaraman po may mag-meeting, pero anyway, hopefully some of them will be here, no? Okay, sige, we'll start with a short we'll start with a short prayer. Okay, we'll start with name the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Holy Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion, allow us to grow closer as a group, and nurture the bonds of community within our agency. Fill us with your grace, Lord God, as we make decisions that might affect the employees, management, and other stakeholders of our airport community. And continue to remind us that all that we do here today, all that we accomplish is for the pursuit of truth, for the greater glory of you, and for the service of humanity. We ask these things in your name. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Sige. So, welcome everyone for the more or less the sixth meeting, no, for the committee, OSH committee, and the safety coordinators. Okay, forward na tayo. So just a reminder lang, no, if you can, no, mas maayo, please turn off or mute your microphone if you're not going to speak online, no. And it's better also you put your name aside from the office. Okay lang may office, pero better put na ay name, no, ang inyong sa label sa inyong Zoom account, para at least maalam ko rin kung kinsay who is that, no, who is on the other side of the camera. Okay, unya during if there are wamatay lectures, no, pero if you have comments, clarifications, and questions, we can entertain that. You do that on the chat box, or you can raise your hand. Meron tayong parang emoji dito sa Zoom. If you want to ask me through online, no? And this meeting is recorded, no, in YouTube. Okay. Okay lang naman audio na ako, no? Walay problema sa audio.
Okay na, Doc.
Hinay
Okay,
kayo,
salamat.
Doc.
Hinay? Hinay ba? Yun na.
Okay ra.
Baka imo. Okay ra. Sige. Baka sa imo lang, Loy. Baka na ay kinhalan ng adjust ng imong volume. Okay, di na ako mag-roll call, no? Anyway, Zoom has its may attendance naman ng Zoom, so ato na lang I'll just base it on the list of the participants sa Zoom. So marami-rami rin sila, no, sa atong committee. There are 9. Then sa atong safety coordinators, there are 38. Pero some of these are also members of the committee, no? And also for our deputy safety officer, they are 10. Actually may nag-add na po. I'll be adding another group na mga 5 kabuok gikan from the engineering, because some of them had their training, I think September yun, or September, for BOSH and for COSH, no? So SO2 na sila. Okay. Sige, so ito yung agenda natin for today, no? We have some updates regarding the organizational structures atong OS unit. So if you remember before the stage 1 audit, ang tawag namin sa atong OS committee, the office of the health and safety is the OS committee. Now we decided to make it we go back again to the OS unit. If we talk about the OS committee, there is an OS committee doon sa ating office, doon sa health and safety, which is the policy making body. So to prevent confusion between which is which, no? So we put back na lang unit instead of the committee. Then yung OS committee is the real committee, no? Which is going to be the policy making body. And then we also have some updates on the HIRAC. Sabihin natin is just a reiteration na sa ginawa ko before, no? Just a reminder, pero may nag-mention si Clown na naay nangutan na regarding the HIRAC. So I'm going to just pakita ko lang ulit, no, yung konting-konti lang, very short lang na what do you need to do for the HIRAC, no? Ano yung kailangan i-complete doon sa mga columns and in the HIRAC. Then we also have updates on the hazard reporting, then also workplace inspection checklist, then the incident reporting, both no workplace incident reporting form and the incident reporting and investigation. Then we have this is a proposed guidelines for the use and the maintenance of our air purifiers. Then so this is not yet wala pa tong memo, no, so going to be for the future, near future, itong guidelines. And also some hazard reports. So meron tayong mga 3 na hazard reports. Then other matters na. Okay, so we'll start with the OS unit organizational structure. So this is the structure natin. No? This is actually may revision ng, I forgot. Yes, okay. This is a revision of our OS unit na organization. So may inad lang tayo, and because it was an OFI, no, opportunities for improvement finding by our external auditor. Sa CAR, it is, if you want to look at it, it is in the CAR number 17. Itong inad lang natin dito is these first aiders and the medical division, because they want to include that, no, or they suggest or recommended na include natin itong first aiders and medical division in the OS unit. So that's the reason why we revised this, no. So that's just the maura na ang change sa atong OS organizational structure. The others is already as is gihapon. Wala tayong dinilit, no? It's more or less the same. Okay, how about meron ba iba? Wala na. Okay. The HIRAC update. So sa HIRAC, again, I might have forgotten this, no? Ito pa lang in the first, there are 2 cars, no, nandito dimension regarding by the external auditor. Itong hazard safety issues, no, they want us to include yung 6 classifications or 6 types of hazards before we put the specific hazard. So if this hazard is di ba may 6 na types of hazards? We have the in alphabetical order: biological hazards, chemical hazards, ergonomic hazards, physical hazards, psychosocial hazards, and safety hazards. So before you put the what specific hazards na include nyo dito sa column, we put first the type of hazard. So if this is, for example, leaking, may nagli-leak na, or sabihin natin may hole sa ground or doon sa road, no, which might cause accident later on. So you put physical hazard, or if you really cannot say na physical, baka pwede nyo sabihin na safety hazard na lang. So you put safety, colon, then specific ang hazard. So could be a hole on the road or pothole on the road. No? So that's morning ang kinahanglan nato buhaton, no? That's for car number 3. Yung car number 6, car meaning yung corrective action report ni siya, no? Car number 6, that's the task, no? So we will also need to include if the task is a routine, non-routine, and emergency, based sa activities natin yan, no? So yung activity, if you think that your activity, a particular activity that you are assessing for the hazard is being used every day or at least once a week, you consider that as a routine task, no? Routine task condition. If your activity that you're trying to assess for the risk is at least once or every 2 weeks or more than 2 weeks na, then that's considered as non-routine. Okay? And if that is only used as an emergency, yung task na yung ginagamit lang in case of an emergency, then you consider that as an emergency task condition. Okay? So yung dalira na kaayon na siya, no? You can also add or you can also combine. Kaloy, palihog lang, mute lang.
Okay, mute tayo.
Ma-mute. Okay, yan. Sige. Thank you. You can also have the task na combining yung routine, non-routine, or emergency if you do that, no? If you do that in times, depende lang kung ano, kung so pwede routine, non-routine, or routine, emergency lang, or 3 of them ginagamit nyo, so okay lang na, no? There's no problem. So you don't need to just include that only one, no? You can have 2 or 3 pa. Depende ra sa inyong what task are you doing or what activities are you doing. Then also, most of the time nakikita ko dun sa mga HIRAC na I already reviewed, no, before, especially sa atong operations and engineering. Nakikita ko yung activities na doon nilalagay nila sa HIRAC is sometimes it's not part of the procedure, no? So since we are only limiting the HIRAC to procedural activities, so you only base your HIRAC doon sa procedures na nilalagay nyo doon sa inyong procedure manual. Okay? So kung walay labot na siya yung activities doon sa inyong procedure manual, then don't put that in the HIRAC. You can put that in the risk assessment if you like, no? So yun ang one of the things na nakita ko or I have observed na probably you might be able to improve, no? To revise your HIRAC. Okay? So that's one thing that you can do, no? To improve. Sige. You have any questions, no? Don't hesitate, no? Or even kung nahuman ako diri sa meeting and you have other questions, then don't hesitate to contact me or to come into the office, no? So better na at least you can ma-clarify mo sa what if you really need to clarify the HIRAC. Okay, in example lang to, no? I already made an example here before with the GSD, no? Pero wala yung example na nilagay ko karon dire. So I included an example with the HIRAC. So for example, the process flow for GSD is may disinfection sila in an assigned area. So activities is disinfection. The task condition, if this is a once a week na activity, so routine na siya. Now, what is the hazard? Sorry, no, sayop ko I didn't put the type of hazard. This should be a chemical hazard. So exposure to the chlorine ang kanyang hazard. Or chlorine lang, pwede na, no? Chlorine. Then what is the impact kung we usually say impact na negative, no? So there could be an illness or injury. So illness na maka-inhale the one who is doing the chlorine disinfection, ma-inhale niya yung chemical, then that can cause illness sa iyang lungs. Sometimes chlorine can also affect the skin, so pwede siya masamad, no? Or that can irritate the skin, that can cause later on wounds, open wounds. So that could be an injury related to the chlorine exposure. So yan ang kanyang impact. Then what could be our existing control? Okay, so usually ginagamit natin is PPEs, no? To wear PPEs kanang relevant na PPEs or appropriate pala na PPE. No, so if you are going to disinfect the whole room, then most possibly you need a PPE na kanang full gear gyud ka, no, para dili ma-expose yung body nimo sa chlorine gas, or not the gas pero yung kanyang solution. Okay? And risk assessment will be depending na, no? So this is a chemical that can cause illness or injury. So I usually say could be 5 or 4. So 5, that means it can cause death, no? Usually death yun na kung may 5. Pero sa atong possible sa exposure natin to chlorine with using the PPE, we can put down into 4, no? Kaya at least if you have a PPE that can lower the risk assessment, yung sayop ko, probability pala ni, no, ang likelihood. So there's a chance, no, usually if you are exposed to chlorine na good na possibility madaot yung imong lawas. So very high chance, no, ang likelihood. Ang consequences severity we lower that, no, kasi hindi naman based on the PPEs that we are using, the existing control, so it lowers also the effect of the chlorine to the skin when you are using PPEs. So 4 times 3, that's a risk score of 12. Okay, now the control actions. Most of the time when I see the control actions sa atong mga offices, I see that yung may mga activities na binabalik-balik, no? It's just a routine cycle, no? I think it's better na mangitatag activity for the control actions na which you can do once lang, at least if you have done that, ma-close na nimo. So usually, for example, for this exposure to chlorine, we can do orientation, no, safety orientation and disinfection. We can make a date or make a schedule, no, sabihin natin December 15. We will do a safety orientation on how to do disinfections, no? Ano yung mga safety, what procedures that you should do, and what are the safety considerations when we are doing disinfection. Preparation, disinfection, and post-disinfection. So anong gagawin natin? So that's one way, no? So gawalan, we can do a program for that. Then also another one, no? If we have known na meron pala tayong ibang disinfectant that we can use much safer than chlorine, then possibly you can substitute that, no, substitute the chlorine with another chemical. This is just an example, no. So probably we don't have any other chemicals at this time. But if you know something or somebody told you na may mas magandang chemical for disinfectant aside from chlorine, then possible you can request for that chemical or for that disinfectant. Then kanus ana siya pwede ipaliton or request or purchase, no? So GST gihapon. Okay? Sige. So that's for an example, no? So you can have other examples based on the procedure. Again, it should be based on the procedure that you have in your office, no? Yung sa inyong procedure manual. Diha na to basihanan ng inyong HIRAC. But mostly naman nakikita ko, most of the time nakikita ko lang sa atong HIRAC yung mga paperwork kasagaran, yung mga issuance, reporting, naiban po na naay, for example, kaning GST, they have kaning disinfection, no? So that's good, no? That medyo naay may action ba, no? May action talaga that during their activities, okay, that can that has the hazardous na work, no, or hazardous chemicals na involved, okay. So I think sa better po if I can suggest sa TED, no, sa kila Sir Toto, wala silang procedure manual on blow baguettes, no, or yung kanang pag-maintain nila sa ilang vehicles. So I think that's a good one way to have a good procedures, no, good reference for that particular na activity. May procedure manual for vehicle maintenance. Sige. So we will proceed na to the next. Okay, hazard reporting. So meron akong bago. I'm planning by next year. So this is probably some of you have already seen this, no? Especially sa operations, pero may change ako. So you can ask me if you want to have another. I changed yung itong QR code. Meron nakalagay na scan me. And there is also may itong, what do you call this? Link na siya, no? Link sa MCIAA hazard reporting form. So we already have a Google form for this, no? So hopefully dali lang kainin siya, pero I don't know, depende na sa inyong, if you have some problems with either by accessing this nag-access kayo ang hazard report or using the hazard report, you have some problems, better to tell me para at least we'll try to check that and hopefully maka-revise na to na that will be easier or convenient for the reporter, no? So I'm also planning na itong this poster will also be we'll try to print this, then amo i-post na in some strategic areas dito, especially dito sa mga entrances, no, of the facilities dito sa corporates, probably there is a auxiliary building at sa other facilities outside our corporate like the GenAv, the fire base, TED motor pool and property. Okay, so baka by next year na yan, I'm already trying to ask sa mga printers, no, kung how much I think ang petty cash regular dali raman when we do the petty cash. So baka we can afford this. Okay, so pwede nyo gamitin to, no? Actually, you can already use this. I will try to, not try, pero I will share this to you later on after sa meeting, itong poster. Okay, so this is ito yung makikita nyo, no, when you access the QR code using the QR code or the link doon sa URL. So the MCI hazard and incident reporting. So you can also include incidents. So anything now that happened, it could be may accident or by near miss, no? So near miss meaning may accident na there was an accident pero walang physical or property damage. Murag hapit na, no? Hapit na dito ma-aksidente and possibly na the victim that lucky lang. So mauna wala siyang injury. Okay, so that's what you call near miss. Nothing happened except na may probably nahulog or sagit ng gamay, no? Okay. Are you reporting a hazard or an incident? Okay, so hazard ba or incident, just select that, then reported by. You may not, no? You may not put your name here if you don't want to be known, no? Pwede anonymous ra. So pero we encourage everyone to put their names, no? Pero kung ayaw mo talaga, then we cannot force you. So this is not, sabi natin, itong part na to is not mandatory. Yeah, ang sunod ani, how do you want to be contacted? So if you don't want to be known also, most possibly you don't want to know, you don't want to also tell us how will you be contacted, unless you want some, sabi natin, ano ba yan? Parang updates lang, you have to put that, no? You have to put your either your email or your contact number or your social media. Okay? Kanos or when did the hazard or incident has been seen or observed? So date niya, then what time nakita nyo or nakita ng observer or victim? Yung when did that happen? What time? Next, where is the location of the hazard? So maraming options dyan, no? I try to make it as comprehensive as possible, pero baka may ibang parts na wala pa rin, hindi ko para na butang, no? So you put that in the others. niya what type of hazard. Okay, could be biological. So may nilagay rin ako ng mga examples dito para just to make it more easier for the person, no? So biological, chemical, ergonomics, physical, psychosocial, and safety. So yung for the sake of those no na hindi alam ko ano ba yung safe, ano talaga yung type of hazard, then you just put safety na lang. Then bahala na kami kung if we can change that later on, no? So if you cannot put a particular hazard into either a biological, chemical, ergonomics, physical, or psychosocial, just put safety na lang. Then try to describe the hazard or incident. It may not be very specific, pero at least we get an idea kung sa ang hazard or incident na nangyari. Okay? May question? Probably you can ask later, no? Walang question for the hazard reporting? Baka may nag-try na, no? So hopefully na dali ra na kuha niyo na-access niyo yung Google form. Okay, next, workplace inspection checklist. So we also reviewed, ako lang. I reviewed the workplace inspection checklist. Then with the help of Cloud, no? Sabot-sabot rami Anyway, workplace inspection checklist. So meron na kaming instructions dito. Before, there was no instruction. Kailan sa inyo ang checklist, bahala na kayo kung gagawin. Karon meron tayong instructions. Okay, instruction is, this shall be used only by OSH safety officers and safety coordinators. Okay, ang safety coordinators are expected to do a workplace inspection at least once a month or frequently when needed. Okay, ang OSH safety officers are expected to do inspection at least once quarterly. So kaning OSH safety officers actually ang trabaho lang nila is actually outside regular na sa workplace unless they are also the safety coordinator of their own office. Pero if they are not, then yung ilang scope of their inspection is outside the workplace. So yung mga hindi na naka-include doon sa workplace inspection of the safety coordinators, it will be done by the safety officer. So we already did once, no, dito sa from the 5th floor, the rooftop down to the 2nd floor, among gi-check yun na sila. So outside yun na sa work, na included pa na workplace, pero naturally, atong safety coordinators ang in charge ng workplace, no, sa ilang offices. Pero for the safety officers, usually we are looking outside, those which are not affect or hindi kasama doon sa workplace inspection of the safety coordinators. Now, there are may mga provisions doon sa inspection checklist na in-italic ko, no? Italic meaning nakahiwi, no? This is optional lang for safety coordinators. So because it's not related to the inside of the office, no? It's usually for outside the offices. So just to, pero kung gusto nyong i-include, kasi baka meron kayong may nakita kayo, you observe something, okay ra, no? There's no problem. You can still include that, but that's only optional. Now, provisions that are not relevant to your office, please put check NA. No? So meron tayong doon sa checklist, meron tayong yes, no, NA. Okay, para di na kayo maglagay ng NA. Numbers in the parentheses are rule numbers, so you don't really need that unless you want to know what is that rule number, no? Dole na siya nasa OSH standards used by the Dole Bureau of Working Conditions. So that's only for that. Mauna rin ang reference niya. Okay? Sige. So, ito sound. And I put ng mga provisions na akong kitang tangkod. No? So it's not, so this is already, hopefully, dali ra na kaya niya siya and hopefully it's clear and understandable. Yeah, floors. So this is yung ito, no? So these are not italic. These are not italicized. That means na yung safety coordinators will be the one doing this. So ang letter A, B, and C, safety coordinators na siya. D and E, optional lang sa safety coordinators. No? So usually ang safety officers na mo check ani. No, stairs and landings kept clear, unobstructed, stairwells adequately lit, like the steps, the treads, etc., in good condition. Furniture, office, so these for safety coordinators again. Furniture, office equipment secured from tipping, so it's not unstable, no, appropriate for work being done. Okay, so number 2 again, no, italicized. So this is mostly for the whole of number 2 is actually for safety officers. Kay outside man is a workplace, no. Doors are not blocked. Exits, entrances, and exterior parking lot man. So expected na gawas yun siya sa office. Another one, so kaning environment, etc. Environment is mostly inside, no, the office niya. Bulletin boards is also in the office. And if you can see here, sa bulletin board, letter C, workplace inspection report. So every time naman, if you have finished your workplace inspection checklist, it's better to have it signed first by your head of office, manager or OIC. Then you paste that in your bulletin board. Ipakita nyo sa inyong mga kauban, unsay mga nakita mo na hazards or hazardous na situations or conditions. Okay? And also, hopefully, maglagay rin tayo ng office, yung name of your name, no? Kung if you are the safety coordinator, you also need to put your name on the bulletin board. Okay, just to not for your co-workers, pero for the others who are coming in, no? Especially mga safety audit, baka may mga auditors later on, they want to know who is the safety coordinator. So better you put your name in the bulletin board as part of our participation consultation workers. Okay. Kung meron kayong mga, we put out some health policies, no, and safety policies. So meron tayong, for example, yung updated guidelines on the use of face masks and other health control measures. So you can put that doon sa inyong bulletin board. Okay, and IMS policy, no, better also good, no. Meron tayong IMS policy that you can put in A4 lang size, no. You can put that on the bulletin board or just beside the bulletin board if there's no more space, no. So very important rin ma-include na sa atong health and safety. Okay, sunod. I think this is not yet the last, no. Fire protection, these are all mostly for safety officers, no, except for the fire evacuation plan, and workers know the plan. So itong fire evacuation plan, actually there should be one evacuation plan inside an office. As of now, I know wala pa tayo nito, no, pero hope that's what we call a wishful thinking. Baka hopefully in the near future or next year, hopefully meron na tayong evacuation plan. Okay, also may mga may map sa atong floor. Then in case of emergency, where do you need to go? No, then possibly we also want to know kung alam ba ng mga kauban ninyo, no, kung asa sila pa doon, no, where do they go if there is an emergency. Kung hindi pwedeng isa yung one exit, where do you go? Where do you exit, no? Another alternate exit. Okay. Number 6, hygiene. So mixture na siya, no, between safety officers and safety coordinator. Better also kung meron kayong first aid certificate, no, if you have been trained to do first aid, better to also put your certificates in the bulletin board. Probably mga gagmay na lang na pictures, no. Kung daghan kaayo mo, butangan ninyo tanan, baka mahurot ang space, no. So just a small, probably na scan lang, then butan na dito sa bulletin board for everyone to see. Okay. This one, material handling. So depende sa office, no. So I think this is more or less relevant sa atong taga-property. Materials are neatly and safely stored, storage shelves, although some mga atong mga offices also that has also some mga equipment, some tools, no. So it's also good to have organized kaayo ng mga storage shelves, no? Step ladders for some office, especially in our engineering, no? Engineering department, meron sila mga ladders, step ladders, and work done above 3 meters. So this is the working from at heights or working from heights. No, we have a policy for this. We don't have yet a policy, pero we're going to do. That is part of our work permit. Okay, so this is based sa ato na sa mga safety officers na siya. Hazardous substances, so mga chemicals, kasagaran sa mga chemicals. So kung meron kayong mga chemicals in your office, so better to have it labeled, stored, and disposed. So when you store it, don't store it near mga food, no, or in the area where food is being also kept or stored, no, kay watakaibaw, especially if that hazardous substance is very volatile, no, dali kaayo mahimog fume or gas. So be careful lang. So you have to put there somewhere else, no, na possibly you can put that in another container, a box ba, or something that will try to limit the exposure. Okay? Kung meron kayong chemicals also, very important, may safety data sheets din kayo. You have to put that in your library kung meron kayong library. If not, if you don't have a library, make a library, no, para at least meron kayong area where you can get some references, especially parang references sa inyong mga very important papers or very important na activities. Okay, safety data sheets, very important yan if you have chemicals. Hazardous materials training, don't need that, no? It's usually safety sa safety officers na siya. Flammable products stored properly. Kung meron kayong flammable products, if your work doesn't require you to have flammable products, and you put NA na yan, no? Possibly there are only some offices which are going to do flammable products. Okay, inflammable products like fuel, gasoline and others, kerosene and others. PPEs, so most of these are for safety officers, pero face masks, no, are always available. Kung meron kayong reserve na face mask, especially if for those our workers, baka na puto lang kanilang mga face mask, yung kanilang mask baka nang tungod sa di maganda yung paggawa sa manufacturer, then at least meron kayong mga reserve, no? If you don't have, hindi kayo mga idri sa clinic. Na electrical, so ito very common to na problem, no? Extension cords, hand tools for engineering food, no, and machines also for engineering. And another one is clear access to electrical. This is more for safety officers, and electrical telephone cords are not exposed in areas where employees may become entangled. So these are very common sa atong offices na mga wires on the floor. Tools and machinery, usually to sa mga engineers, no, engineering. Guarding, start-stop switches, safe operating procedures, lockout procedures, lockout, tag-out, no, defective tools, etc. If you have tools, so better also to have the manual, no. Very important ang mga manual. So kahit na alam niyo na yung worker already knows how to use the tool, still, no, you have to keep a manual for this, because possibly watakaibaw in the future mawa nang the person who knows how to do the tool, no, he's going to resign, retire, whatever. So wala nang makakagawa unless now you get somebody else. So this somebody else might not know regarding the tool, so you have to give them manual. Although possibly baka may somebody na kibaw na yun, pero better to have a manual also for safety reasons also. Kasi may mga safety considerations sa kalagay rin sa mga manual. Then the last is security, no? These are just two. So better in your bulletin board, meron kayong emergency numbers for internal and external contacts. And also if you have rules in place for visitor and contractor, especially for our one-stop shop, no? So there are visitors going in and out of the area. So probably baka meron kayong mga rules diyan. So better you have to have something na ma-post nyo na what are the rules that you have, that these visitors need to know, no, before entering the area. So probably health and safety protocols. You have to start step 1, then step 2. Kung meron kayong step 1, step 2, step 3, no? Just follow the steps para at least hapsay, no? Very orderly ang pag process ng papers in that office. Okay? Sige. So next, may question ba? Wala rin question, no? Okay, so ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, no, regarding bulletin board. So, but this is just very simple lang kayo. You can design pa kung gusto nyo, designan nyo ng mga whatever diyan, mga at least maengganyo po ng mga tao just to try to look at the whatever is the content of your bulletin board. Okay, so then you can also put the name of your, kung ikaw yung safety coordinator, put your name on there, no? Para at least kay Bapod, ako, at least di man ako, I cannot memorize everyone who is the safety coordinator. So if I go there, try to look who is the safety coordinator, at least I know already, no? Just not by asking, but by just looking at the health and safety bulletin board. Okay, so we have updates also sa atong incident reporting. So itong incident reporting, so I did this, no, para lang at least may spice sa atong procedure manual. Okay, if we were just going to use the flowchart type na doon sa nakikita natin sa procedure manual sa ISO, it's very, very boring kaayo. So I did a little bit of spicy. So nilagyan ko pa ng mga pictures para at least, so nahimo na talaga ng try to become, sometimes we need to be creative para at least di po mabore ang mga tao. Okay, incident occurring. Okay, so if you see somebody na aksidente, you can provide first aid if necessary yan, no? So kung di naman necessary, then you can skip this one. Then you ask yourself, try to ask, do we need an emergency responder? So do we need to call the clinic? Kung sinabi mo, kung everybody agrees to say, call the clinic, so call the clinic. If you say na okay raman sila, probably ang ilang injury is just scratch lang, kailangan ng konting band-aid, no? So no, so diretso na to sa, hindi na kailangan ng clinic, so pwede dumiretso sa immediate correction if you can correct that immediately, no? Okay, then after immediate correction, then workplace, better to report that to the OSH unit, no? So you have the victim or the witness can report the incident to the OSH unit using the workplace incident accident report, your WINC-R ng tawag ko ani, WINC-R. If there are some cases na unwitnessed incident na siya, unsay meaning unwitnessed? So why nakakita? Although possibly the victim or the somebody na, for example, a very good example, yung sa accident doon sa Perimeter Road, yung taga security guard na nakabangga doon sa kaposte. There was no witness there, or if there was a witness na walang nag-report, no? The only person who knows about the accident found out just mga 1 hour, 2 hours pa after. No, so taga-operations pag yung nakasugot, naka-inform. So that is what you call an unwitnessed incident. So if ever somebody finds something as a result of that incident, then they can immediately report to the OSH unit, again using the workplace incident report. That is ang WINC-R. Then the WINC-R will be, so may part 1, part 2 yan eh. Yung part 1 will be done by the yung nakakita doon sa result of, if that is an unwitnessed, no, the result of the accident, or kung witness kid siya, or that is the victim, that's again sa part 1 of the WINC-R na siya. Then after na ma-fill up niya yung part 1, ibibigay yan, or this WINC-R will be given to the supervisor or the manager of the office involved doon sa accident. So there is a part 2 for that, which will be filled up by the manager or the supervisor. Kung nahuman na sila, kung na-fill up ang part 1 and part 2, that will be submitted to the OS unit, yung WINC-R form. Then the OS unit will try to investigate that incident. Kunya, out of that incident, lalabas dito yung investigation report na, no? Incident and investigation report. So both the WINC-R and the incident investigation report will be the basis for our corrective action report. Now, along the way, sometimes atong mga top management, they will try to ask us what happened na, ano nangyari doon sa investigation nyo, or what happened to the victim or whatever, no? So, we can do an interim report. The OS unit will be doing an interim report that will be reported to our general manager and also to our AGM, if ever other concerned officers if they want, no? So merong interim report na siya based on our WINC-R tsaka sa incident investigation. But along the way, we will also, when we already have the corrective action report, we will try to monitor these corrective actions. And if we can verify those corrective actions and okay naman sila, and we can approve that, then we will put this information to our incident registry, or incident registry na lang yun na siya. Then kung nabutang na siya, then immediately we will be reporting this incident to our workers, to our MCIA employees and also management if needed, no? Pero usually with this kind of meeting nato sa safety coordinators, that is one of the ways to inform you na ito yung incident na ito, mao na hitabo, mao na ang atong corrective action, mao na ang na-approve na siya, etc. No? So everybody will know what happened. No? Wala tayo we try to be as transparent as we can regarding incidents. Okay? Sige, so that's how we do our incident investigation, reporting and investigation and communication to workers. So ito yung sa WINC-R, no, na form. Part 1 siya, so this will be filled up by the victim or the witness, if this is a witness na incident, or somebody who found out na may accident, no, without any witness or unwitnessed na incident. So they try to make it as specific or as comprehensive ang pag-report, no, at least para when we do the investigation, dali ra po na mahibawaan usay possible cause, no? So this is the part 2, which is to be filled up by the manager or the supervisor of the office concerned. So mas dali ni siya na kay check lang naman kung what is the possible factors that contributed to the incident, no? So for example, yung sa incident dun sa perimeter road involving some security guard hitting the electrical post, no, hitting doon sa using the vehicle, no? So this was due to medicine side effects of medicine. So it's not this is not an environment, no? It's not because of an equipment. It's not because of a work system, but it could be because of the kaniyang people, no? So personnel involved, drugs or alcohol. So that's and then drugs doesn't mean na illegal lang na siya, no? It could be also legal drugs, pero side effect lang na siya. Okay? So ito yung part 2. Again, this is the part 2 of the WINC-R, no? So to be filled up by, again, the manager or the supervisor. So contributing factor from above the list, and what are we going to do? Sino ang responsible ani? When to ang target date, and when did it was completed or verified, no? Verified na ba? Kung fixed na yung issue, then isassign na sa mga involved, na person involved in the incident, office safety coordinator, and also the manager. Okay, so that's for the workplace incident reporting. Ito na po sa incident reporting and investigation. This shall only be used by our OS unit. So medyo is more technical na kaayo ni siya. So Pakita ko lang sa inyo para at least you have an idea, no? So ito, meron na tayong mga picture of somebody, lalaki na siya. Sabihin natin, not lalaki, pero could be babae or lalaki, no? Nature of the injury, exact location, what part of the workday did it happen sa employee? Is it entering or leaving work? Is it while the victim was doing normal work, no? Or during break period, mga meal period, etc. Okay? So ito yung this is only used for the OSH unit. Why did the incident happen? Is it because of unsafe workplace condition? It could be action by people. Why did the unsafe conditions exist? Why did the unsafe acts occur, etc. So medyo this is already very specific, no? How can future incidents be prevented? Who completed and reviewed this form? Okay, so that's all for our incident investigation. May question ba before I proceed? Wala. Okay ra tanan? O may tubag? So I think everything is okay, ha? Okay, sige. So arita sa guidelines on the use and maintenance. So this is still an unsigned, pero this is probably proposal na nako ni siya. That's already so this was still November 4. Ano siya? November 4 pa ni, pero I'm still going to present this, no, especially to our OSH committee, no? So why do we need guidelines? Kasi I think it's good, no, na at least we can use our kaning atong purifiers, use it properly, maintain it properly para madugay-dugay pa ni siya, no? So bali ni siya, no, na ang part 1 nasa right side, yung part 2 nasa left side. This was because of why do we need a purifier? Because this was actually part of the control measure for COVID, no? Based on the DOLE's Department Order 224-21. It was given out last March 2021 pa. Okay, so very helpful getting purify, especially not only for COVID actually, no, it can also be used for other air quality problems like dust, other mga fungus, molds, and also allergens, mga nagkakos ng allergy na from through air or through atmosphere. Okay, this is introduction and responsibilities. So we have employees' responsibility, the heads of offices, safety coordinators, and designated employees. The responsibilities nila to monitor the use of the air purifiers, inform the GSD office for scheduled maintenance, and inform the OSH safety of. Now, you have to ask me, you're going to ask bakit kailangan ng GSD, no? Because usually itong Xiaomi Smart Air Purifier Model 4, the way it needs to be cleaned is through using the vacuum cleaner. Kailangan i-vacuum na siya. So actually you can find how to maintain that sa YouTube also. You can have that in YouTube. You can check in YouTube how to maintain. If you have your own what do you call this, vacuum cleaner, so okay ra gyapon, no? At least you have tanawan lang ninyo kung saan yung pag-clean, no? So kailangan alisin yung filter. So where do you get the filter? It's from the back. May panel yan. You just take out the panel, take out the filter, then vacuum. Then balik na yun. Then I already contacted, actually kanina ko lang na-contact yung supplier, no? And they told me meron pa tayong they have scheduled for our maintenance usually 6 months after. So I think October na release ng atong purifier, so we still have 6 months, October, November, December, January, February, March, April next year. May this will be scheduled for maintenance ng atong mga purifier. Okay? Ito na yung guidelines, no? So air purifiers are expected to work out of the box. So actually, very user-friendly na siya, no? You can just put it on and okay na siya. Pero if you want to get the maximum feature of our smart purifier, better you can have the purifier connect to the Wi-Fi, no? Then ikaw, as for example, if you are in charge of monitoring the maintenance of or the use and the maintenance of the purifier, you can have an app doon sa imong cellphone. Then you can connect your app to the app of the kaning purifier, pero kailangan the same network kayo sa Wi-Fi. So kung anong ginagamit ng Wi-Fi ng purifier, you also have to be in that network. So you can know, no, or you can see na usually makikita mo doon yung when does the filter needs to be replaced na. So usually I see the number, the maximum is 290 days. No, mao na ang primero. Then based on your usage of your filter, of your purifier, bumababa yan ang numbering until it goes down to 0 kung kinahanglan na yun. Pero you might have to tell us probably nasa 100 days na lang, so that's around 3 months, no? Na para at least makita nyo, 100 days na nabilin. So inform us, no? Inform us so we can try to purchase for kung wala na, no? I think baka meron pa tayong libreng isang filter after 6 months. And after that, we will need to already purchase itong filter nila. Ang gwapo na sa filter nila is because Xiaomi is very ubiquitous, no? You can buy it anywhere. So dali ra kay ma-replace yung filter nila. It's not going to be very hard, no? It's not what you call a kanang pangit usara ka store lang ang maka supply sa atong filter. You can buy it and you can buy it even in Lazada if you like, no? Pero problema we cannot use Lazada as our supplier, so we have to purchase that in a physical store. Okay? So air purifier shall be placed in an area where most people spend their time. So usually in the middle part of a very active office, no? Kung saan yung mga daghang tao, dihan ibutang ang purifier. Don't put that in the corner of your room or wherever, okay? That will not be, sabi natin, that will not get the air, or that cannot purify the air that everybody needs, no? So we recommend reading the user's manual. So may manual na siya. If you cannot find the manual, you can look up it in the internet, no? May manual na yun sa Xiaomi na site, okay? If you still cannot find the user manual, tell me. Okay, I can give it to you. No, pwede na ko i-print, or you can just send it through email if you like. Ato naman naka PDF man na siya. The head of office shall assign the safety coordinator or a designated employee. Kung probably sabihin natin kung very busy na ang safety coordinator, so he or she can assign another employee to monitor the air purifier, no? And monitoring may be based on the number of months after the last filter replacement, or preferably using an app. So I suggest using an app kasi kung number of months na siya, even kung imo nang if you're not using it every day, which is not good, no? You have to use it every day. Pero kung hindi good every day, then that means yung number of months and the number of days that needs to be replaced, baka it will go beyond 6 months pa. So at least di masayang ba yung filter. Pero we suggest you use your purifier if you are there or if the office is open, no? So usually 6 months good ang pag-change anang filter, okay? Pero kung may app kayo, mas maganda kayo, you can monitor the number of days, no? Okay, filter replacement or general cleaning of the purifier shall be performed every 6 months or more frequently as the need arises. The assigned employee or head of office shall inform the OS unit if the air purifier is already due for filter replacement or cleaning. And first, turn off the air purifier before relocating or moving or doing maintenance activity. Okay, so before ninyo i-transfer sa laing area yung inyong smart purifier, then take it off first. Especially kung bisag duura kayo ang i-move, no? Better to turn off first, no? Para di madaot ang purifier. Sige, so that's for the guidelines. Okay, arit na sa hazard reports. Pas na karon. Hazard reports, we have 3, no? So ang akong goal unta every month nagyutay hazard report, no? Hindi lang na once in a blue moon na ta mag hazard report. So better if you have seen something, mas maayo pod ang hazard report nato mga bag-upod, no? Naiuba na although okay ra man, no? Pero naiuba na sige lang sila report na the same report as before, no? Muragi sabi natin copy and paste lang from the earlier na report. So most possibly balik-balik na gyud ang problem, pero makita ta pud daglain, no? So hazard reporting number 23. So ako nakakita ani, no? This was in the early part of November. There is a hole, kita niyo may arrow, no? There is a hole found near between the airport road, yung main airport road and the cargo road, yung may intersection dyan. So I think you know already where is that, no? So just by looking at the environment and surrounding. Okay, so that was before yung left side, and the after is on the right side. So maayo po, no? Ang atong civil works ng trabaho ani, medyo nadugay lang kay the in charge was hindi na inform dahil ng in charge, no? Pero I think after 1 or 2 weeks na okay na ni siya. So this was already verified and already corrected. Okay? So ang assessment, risk assessment nato is medium. Why? Because kung makita nyo yung hole, it's very medyo dako and a little bit deep, no? Not a little bit, no? Pero medyo deep na siya. Okay, hole na magyud na black yun ang ilaw no? So the problem here is hindi naman it's not the vehicle, it's not the car that might have a problem. It could be the motorcycle, no? Kung agi diya wa siya kabantay na hole, baka ma-aksidente na siya. So I put that because worst scenario is injury or death, no? Okay, takaybaw, baka just like the incident before last October, nag-helmet ang driver pero ang helmet man pod hindi naka-strap, no? So pag eject niya sa motor, tangtang po ng iyang helmet. So maulya pa namatay siya. So mao po gihapon sa ato, no? Sa dire sa injury baka na maso diha ang wheel ng motorcycle na natumba ang victim, na tangtang ang kanyang helmet, baka ang ulo diretso sa ground. Okay? So that might happen. So worst scenario is 5, no? Ang akong severity. And ang possible occurrence should be at least mga 3 yata akong gibutang. But it can be 4 kay daghaman mo agi diha. It's not only once in a while ang agianan diha sa mga vehicles. It's usually constant good na good mga motor, especially motor. So I just put it 3 or 4. I forgot on some number, pero it was I think 3, no? So a medium is a medium risk na siya. Na hazard. Okay, so okay na ito. Nahuman na ni. Okay, number 24. This is from the Public Affairs Office. This actually was a problem here. There was an earlier problem here na may naglidik sa kanilang sa ceiling, no? On the tapit sa may CR na wall. Now, actually, nawa na gyud ang leaking, no? There was actually no fixing by our mechanical kay as what they reported while they were already looking for the leak source. So sige na sila ana sa wall, no? Na all of a sudden nawa na gyud ang leaking ko, no? just by murag buak lang gamay ang wall ana nawa dayon. So as of now nawa na ginibalik ang leaking. However, the problem, ang effect of that leaking was on the carpet, on the floor, no? Ang floor carpet nila nagsigig basa. So there's always the chance kung may basa, there's always the chance may mga other problems that might crop up like baho, ang smelly na ang mag-smell ang carpet, or may growth, especially growth of molds, no, mga molds, because molds are fungus and fungus likes damp na environment. So kanang molds that can cause allergic reactions, especially for those who are sensitive, no? So nagka-problema karon ng our personnel from public affairs because some of them already had problems with allergic reactions and also asthma. So that's the reason why they reported this one. And as of now, ang amo lang ang immediate correction ani was actually during that time they request our civil works personnel to take out the carpet, paon ng carpet, pero as of now murag di pa man nila mahimo na siya. So the only way na hopefully ma-resolve ni siya is to do constant ano tawag dito, vacuuming of the carpet para hopefully pero I doubt no that is the corrective action. That's only a correction that might happen again later on, no? So murag ang better gyud is tangon na gyud ang carpet ana para di na mo balik ang problem. Now if you are going to take out the carpet, you have to put something else there kay kung imo lang ibilin na ang floor ana bati man, no, kay murag it's not as presentable ba, especially pau man so we have visitors from outside, so baka medyo not going to be good, no? It could be an eyesore also, so better to may mga vinyl na tiles na siya kung pwede. So they still have to prepare for that, okay? So as of now murag vacuuming pa na sila karon, and hopefully naman baka in the future they can do something more sabihin permanent na correction na siya, corrective action. So because of the risk involved, no, regarding kaning problem na molds and other doon sa carpet, I put risk assessment natin is medium also. So it needs corrective action for this type of hazard. Okay? And last na siya na hazard report. So actually this was a report done made by our lead DRCC, Sir Rodilio Fernandez. He was very concerned about atong kaning building nato diri sa Tupad, kanang di old corporate building. Kasi he said na it can be a hazard later on, no? So ang ginawa ko, I went there I think last Friday na ako yan to Friday, and I met the security guard there taga GTS. They were posted dito sa baba doon sa there is a right side, sa corner sa right side doon sa the old HR building diha dapit. And I found out na meron there are still people living in that area. Actually before the Odette typhoon, naanagid na yung mga tao diha nagpuyog gihapon, no? There are daghang kuno sila, no? If you can see the second floor, no, dito sa picture, wala na sa third floor, way tao diha. Ang second floor na diha ang mga tao, and then she said also in kanang before there are rooms upstairs, the second floor have rooms. Moabot pag yun na diha dapit sa right side, sa kaning tumoy sa right side, no? The whole floor ana daghang kadug tao na. Karon wala na. There are only some na lang, mga I think 4, no? There are 4 coming from the K9 team of PNP. So they also have their own the cages for their animals there, no? dito sa second floor. I would like to inform lang everyone, no, kay namin mga pictures na baka very sensitive, baka sensitive. When you say sensitive, medyo baka hindi mo ganahan tanahon ba. So I'm just going to warn you daan, ha. Okay, so this is the first floor, ground floor ni siya. Okay, so kita niyo yung mga unused construction materials. Okay. HIRAC na to ani, unsa may HIRAC ani is ugaw. Number 2 could be where some wild animals, no? When you say wild is they are not pets, no? O baka mga bitin, no? Especially bitin and others, no? And also yung kanang mga ceiling, yung sa taas, yung mga concrete, no? Could be because of erosion, baka very, sabi natin, very brittle ng uban ana. Okay, so this is the ground floor. Another view. So ito yung sa area ng mga atong sa security guard, naka-post na siya dito. Okay, and this is the stairs going up to the second floor. Okay, I don't know if some of you have seen this, no, pero hadlok po ani, no, kay medyo nipis raman ang concrete na ang semento. So baka there is no maintenance for this, no, so murag hadlok po ani. Then this is the second floor. Okay, actually hindi na ako nakuha yung picture from the side of the staircase when you land on the second floor. Wala na ako na kuha picture, pero this is on the other side na siya. When you go forward na ito yung kita niyo mga cages, ano? There are actually 2 cages diyan for the K9, and the left side are dito yung mga may office dito sa EOD, explosives ordnance, no, and also for K9 sa left side. And the other side are some rooms, no, for CR nila, o sa CR in quotation mark. Okay, wag mo gyud na yung CR. Wait, actually walay tubig, pero ang naay electricity ani, pero they are tapping it from the old HR na area. Okay? During this time, wala ako nakita na taga K9, so I think they were all doing their work, no? So walang tao dito except me and the security guard, yung babae. Okay, another view, no? So this is the PNP. So kita nyo na meron talaga ditong tao nakapuyo, no? Nakapuyo kay nice mineral bottles, yung galon, no? 4, 5. Okay. I'm not sure kung ang kaning mga aircon ani is still working or not working anymore, or are they using it? If they're using it, possibly when they are already sleeping quarters na nila ni siya, no? For those in the K9. Okay. So this is sabi natin CR nila. Okay, CR. You can see here, ang ganda ng plumbing nila, no? So, mauna ang plumbing nila. This is the CR. So, I'm not sure asagi ka ng ilang tubig. Most possibly, they also tap this somewhere else, no? So, may tubig dyan. And CR dito sa left side nila, yung toilet nila. I'm not sure if there is really a toilet there, no? Pero they told, may security guard, sabi yung toilet nila could be in the terminal na if they are already doing their work, no? As far as I know. Okay. And this one is their mess hall. Assuming na mess hall ni siya, no? Na may table, na may lingkuranan, na may murag bote, no? And this one, inner part pag yun. Okay. Okay, sige. So, if you can see now, no, kung mao ning ang situation karon diha sa old building. So there are still people there. I'm not sure kung I was told na cut off na nila ang electricity, pero I was told kanina or last week na cut off na kuno. Pero there is I think they have tapped again, no? Kung may electricity diha, because I'm sure na kung walang electricity diha, wala gyud tao diha, no? So I'll still have to ask atong tayong taga K9 if we can maka-timing ko sa K9. I'm going to interview them, no, sa ilang living considerations sila diyan. Okay, may question? Do you have a question? Murag mingaw man. Anybody? Baka may mga concerns, other or hazards inyong ipa-report? Walang reporting. Naaba kisay ato na dire ha. Yes, SMS. Okay. Okay, wala. Okay, sige, we'll continue with dapat si Sir Ramonito, Sir Singkulan, kung nakakadire.
Hello,
Tama.
Doc. Doc.
Sir, yeah, so ito na yung imo, no? So for our DRCs, no, so we have me and Sir Singkulan na we reviewed the calibration procedure manual. Why? Because there was a finding by our external auditor regarding calibration procedure. So among gibalik ang procedure and we found among gi-improve pa, no? So ako na lang sir nito among storya ni.
Sige Doc, ikaw na lang
Okay,
Doc.
so actually for those who, this is not for everyone, no? So I think there are only certain offices na meron silang for calibration equipment, no? So walay labot dire ang mga yung sa mga IT and also for those photocopiers, no? So walay labot na siya. Yung uban mga equipment lang like in the medical, sa I think sa fire na pod, no? And possibly engineering pod na I'm not sure lang kung unsa na siya. Okay, so when we do calibration, usually we start with a master list, no? So we try to identify what equipments in the offices. So based lang dit sa idea nako na doon sa atong in charge for the calibration coordinator, which is Sir Ramonito, no? So we have a equipment master list of all the identified na equipment na for calibration. Then using that, based doon sa master list, we will have our annual calibration plan. Pero actually, kaning calibration plan will be based on the office's plan yun, no? It's not Sir Ramonito that will make the calibration plan. It will be the office. Si Sir Ramonito, ang iyang trabaho is to gather the schedules of this calibration plan. And later on, mao ni iyang basihanan niya para follow-upping. Mo-follow up siya sa mga offices. Okay? Now, once we have already decided, once na meron na tayong calibration plan, the next question is are there equipment that will be used, that will be calibrated na for a particular month, for example, for January of next year. Sabihin natin December muna. For this December, anong mga equipment that will need to be calibrated? Okay? So, the question here, so I found out while trying to make a sense of dun sa kanyang calibration procedure manual, one of the things na kailangan natin maalam na when do we say na ang atong equipment is already for calibration? Is it during the target date na for calibration, the scheduled calibration, or we can still do it in the before pag sa target date? So akong giingnan si Sir Ramonito na i-decide lang natin na at least within the month before, the 30 days before mag-calibrate na the equipment needs to be calibrated, we can already consider that as for calibration. So you can make a schedule na mas earlier pa yun rather than waiting for the target date. Especially kung pananglitan, especially very important, yung inyong equipment for calibration is, sabihin natin, by December 15, kailangan talaga the equipment should be used, no, by the kaning office na kay gamit man sige, no. During December 15, very busy yung equipment na yan. Pero December 1, walay trabaho pa or hindi pa busy yung equipment or the equipment is still not being used. So pwede natin gamitin yung December 1 as our target, as our sabihin natin calibration date, no? Instead of waiting for December 15 na baka ma-delay pa yung kanyang calibration. So if we can consider that as for calibration, then we can immediately proceed, no, with the calibration procedure na. Okay, so is it for calibration? Yes or no? If it is a no, if that equipment is not yet for calibration, there is no schedule yet, or ang schedule niya is matagal-tagal pa, so that is a no, then you can immediately end that one, no? So probably in the future, you just check again in the probably 1 month after, so yung reschedule nila. But however, if the equipment is already for calibration, then yes, then immediately you can proceed with the calibration procedure. Pero before you go to the calibration procedure, better pa, kaning in charge of the equipment or those who are in charge of the calibration, ipa-check tayo ng equipment ninyo, no? It doesn't mean that when you check your equipment, it doesn't mean that you have to check it with a professional or somebody. Kahit na kayo lang, no? Just look at your equipment, inspect that. Is it working properly? Is wala bang mga dents na siya? Wala ba siyang mga problems with the container? Kaya baka that can also affect the calibration procedure later on. Kung sa tanaw nimo na ay problema, no, or kundi the performance is not living up to its expectation, to your expectation, then patanaw nimo, you have it repaired kumada, no. So it is not free of defects, so no na siya. Then try to repair the equipment before you proceed to the calibration again. Okay? Pero sa tanaw nimo, okay kaayo ang imong equipment for calibration. Then you proceed to the calibration to calibrate the equipment. Then after the calibration, ibabalik naman sa inyo yung equipment. Then you can use that, no? Or you can try to check it first kung okay tanan. Okay? Now there are some calibrators na after calibrating, they will put a label na this is already calibrated. The next calibration will be on when? Depende yan. So ito, for example, itong nandito sa procedure natin, yung sa likod, no? There's a picture, calibration, yung date, kano sa i-calibrate. Then the next calibrated calibration schedule will be on, due on, okay, what kind of instrument na siya. So baka meron yan, mas maayo, no? It is better to have this sticker on that item para at least pag check mo din, you don't need to look for the list of your calibration plan para maalam mo na it is already due. Pero tignan mo lang yung equipment mo, you can already see or you can already know that there is a for calibration pa na or not yet for calibration. Yeah. After na calibrate na siya, then you put that calibration of that equipment in your history record. Now, that history record will be your basis for the next annual calibration plan in the next year ba or another schedule. So hindi ito na kutubra end na siya. Babalik-balik yan. It's a cycle, no? It's a cycle. So yung calibration history record nimo before, that can be a very good reference for your calibration plan for next year kung kumaudod na. Okay? So that's mauni ang among na improve ani, no. So more or less makasabot ta or makasabot nang nagbasa ani unsay atong how do we go with our calibration. Okay? Ikaw sir Sir Ramonito, okay ra ka ani, no? I'm going to ask again. Okay, murag tanaw na ko okay ka pero just for record, no? okay ka na atong procedure or do we still need to improve pag this one?
Yes, Doc. Okay ra ko ani nga procedure, Doc. Amenable ra ko ani nga procedure. Then ako lang po ihangyo po dya katong mga offices nga naay equipment for calibration nga at least mo follow lang ta nga sa for equipment for calibration 30 days prior sa date of acto nga mo due ang iyang calibration. So ato na ginasyon is schedule for calibration para dili siya mo dili siya mo expire ang calibration nato ba. So okay. Okay.
Sige, sir.
Yes,
Okay. So one of the findings pala nato no na yung kanang wa pa makalibrate this today, as of today, baka better i-check na yung ilang schedule. Baka there is already a schedule for calibration this coming December. Okay, baka the auditor will try to check again kay naka-finding man na uban wap na schedule na for calibration pero wap pa makalibrate. So that's the problem there, no? Na wap na schedule pero wa makalibrate pa. So we are trying to prevent that in the future, hopefully in the future hindi na ta mag-ana. So that's the reason why we give 30 days leeway, no, for the calibration schedule para di ta magsigig apas dun sa target. Okay? May I think may mga problem, no, kay may ni ask question or may asking for me concern, no. So I think everybody is okay for this, no? Sige. Okay, nagte-thank you na dito, no, si Minion. So anybody, Sir Arman, asa ka karon, Sir Arman? Office ka?
Doc, good afternoon to all the participants. Di ako sa unlib ko, di ako sa Bohol.
Oh.
Yeah,
Nasa Bohol ka?
Yes.
Okay.
Karon lang ko
Important
nabot
pala ka.
karon lang ko nag-open. Gikan kong tagbilaran kay doon may follow up ngadto.
Okay. Sige, sir. So nakita nimo, sir, yung doon sa dito sa atong old building, yung may mga tao dito na kuyo. O sa atong set ang, di ba, unta wanay tao diha. We have already informed them na they should not be there already, yung kaning mga tao kaning sa atong mga K9.
Sa unfinished building na, Doc?
Yes, sir. Doon sa old building na incorporate. Yung
at sa una, ato nang gipapawa, gi-clear gina na to. During my time, I was still with the EPD, gi-clear na to. And later on, murag si Engineer Ponce, doon na ni-request, i-accommodate ang, doon na i-allowed niya nga to temporarily occupy sa unfinished building.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I was informed by the security guard na sa una pa kuno before the audit na kaning problems audit, daghan kuno diha nagpuyo kay dana mga family kuno of the personnel na nagpuyo ko diha. Unya murag nahimo nang nilag kanang balay ba.
Munay
after the audit,
munay ang tingali na check,
yes.
Doc, check sa
together
with the EPD and ang engineering nga ni allowed sa dana. I understand nga murag gi-cleared man ni GM tingali ang pag allow sa engineering.
So hindi ba unsafe na siya sa tanaw nimo, sir? Ang area kay aside from wala pa electricity, way klaro na plumbing pa diha. So
na may electricity sila diha. Nagpa-reconnect man tingali.
Yes, sir. Murag ilang gitap.
About sa structure sa building, it is only the engineering. The civil works can probably make an assessment as to sa safe sa
how stable na siya.
Yes. Safe and stability sa building.
Sige, ako lang pangutano nan later on ang taga engineer civil works o si Sir Ponce kung unsay if there is a need na i-transfer or ipa-evacuate na yung area sa anong time. Kay another possible diha, sir, yung kanang mga wild animals kay wag yun na murag may tao diha. So whatever anay kung way tao kasagaran mo fill up ana mga lain-lain ng mga animals, mga bitin pag yun diha nagpuyo.
Tingali Dok, the best way ana is to make an kaning accounting sa occupants diya. Pila ka room ang ilang gi-utilize karon, nya pila ka book ang total occupants per room. At least maduna tay updating diya.
Yes sir, actually upat ra na kuno ang nabilin diha, mga puros taga K9 o ay pila ka book ang ilang iro diha, mga duha. Pag tanaw na pag adto na mo last time Friday, nay duha ka iro na naka-cage dito. Pero way tao during that time. Ang security guard ang tao dito. So anyway, sige lang sir, kana ako lang ipangutana later on sa kang Sir Ponce unsay ilang assessment ani.
Yeah, yes Doc, para ma-verify na because during the time nag-declare gina nato, I was still with the APD. Tanan nasa ang K9, although the K9 during the time, the PDEA K9 and the ABSIO K9 had requested, I've been telling them nga, in reality, it is not by, the MCA is not obligated to provide shelter for this K9 as well as the personnel. It is their responsibility.
PNP.
And assigning them to the airport does not mean nga ang MCI has an obligation because that is where the type of service they are assigned by the national headquarters sa ABSIO. Di man
Yes sir.
Ang ato amurag consideration lang na mobile to nga atong ipabalin sila sa during the time nga totally clear na nato dia, ipabalin nato sila sa katong sa STP. Sa STP.
Yes, sir.
Moto na itabo to. Nya suddenly,
paron wala naman STP.
sa audit, murag nihangyo na ni Engineer Ponce, and it was Engineer Ponce who I doubt og nahibaw ba sad si during that time na-inform by si Colonel De La Rosa during the time nga ni occupy sila diya.
Mong tanan ako sir, kang Sir Del Rosa, kung na ba siya idea na.
Palihog Dok.
Kano sa balik sir?
Wednesday, Thursday pa ko
Wednesday. Thursday na.
Thursday na kung balik.
Okay sir, sige. Okay. Thank you sir.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you. And to everyone,
Okay,
thank you.
yes sir. Anyone else? Baka may mga concerns kayo from others sa atong safety coordinators and sa atong mga committee members? Wala kayong mga concerns. Sige. So if there are no more other concerns, no, it's already nag-start man ta 2 o'clock, so it's already 3:33. So I think that's sakto na gid na siya, no. So thank you very much everyone for coming, no, for participating, for attending pala. So okay, participate wa may nangutana. Okay. Sige. So we'll just most possibly by December, atong December na meeting, we'll try to make it as early as possible. Baka in the middle of December na lang ta, imbis na dun sa later part of December kay very busy na gyud ang mga tao at the end of December. So we'll just probably mag-update lang ko, no, kung whatever I get from our kanang ang issues karon, especially dito sa what do you call this, dito sa building dito, mo update lang ko ninyo. And if there will be other kanang mga updates po sa atong mga procedures, no, so ako lang po i-inform mo during that meeting sa karong middle of December. Okay? Sige. So for those probably I'll also kung yung sa YouTube, ako namang record itong meeting now with in YouTube. So I'm just going to share the YouTube link, no, to this to our group chat for the others who were not able to participate dito sa ating meeting. Okay? Palihog na lang kanang palihog kanang open lang inyong mga video no for our attendance lang tayo. Okay, we are actually 35. So ilang ba dito? We 2 pages raman siya no. Okay. Okay. Sugod ta ha. Page 1 to. Okay, one more. Smile. Okay. Sige. Thank you. Salamat sa inyong tanan.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doc. Bye-bye, Doc.
Thank you, Doc.
Bye-bye.